For 2 months, Calla Brown was trapped inside a shipping container on a South Carolina property, chained and hidden from the world. And then, on the 3rd of November 2016, police heard banging coming from inside. What they found changed everything. This is the story of how Calla Brown survived Todd Kohlhepp and how her survival helped expose a serial killer. Welcome back to Surviving the Unthinkable, the show where we tell real crime stories with one focus: survival. Not the killer, not the fantasy, the survivor. I'm your host, and today we're talking about the kidnapping and captivity of Calla Brown in 2016. This episode includes themes of kidnapping, captivity, and violence. Please take care while listening, and feel free to pause if you need to. Before the kidnapping, Calla Brown was living an ordinary life in South Carolina. She was a woman trying to work, get by, and build a future like so many people do. She also knew Charlie Carver, and the two of them ended up connected to the property owned by Todd Kohlhepp, a man who would later be revealed as far more dangerous than anyone around him realized. On the surface, this story begins in a very ordinary way. A job, a property, a man who didn't look like a monster. That is what makes cases like this so terrifying. Predators do not always look like the thing your mind expects. Sometimes they look calm, controlled, even helpful. That's part of what made this case so hard to see coming. In late August 2016, Calla and Charlie went missing, and the situation quickly turned into something much darker than a simple disappearance. Calla and Charlie had gone to work on Kohlhepp's property. At some point, the situation escalated into violence, and both of them were taken under his control. Charlie Carver was killed. Calla Brown was not, and that fact alone is one of the most important parts of this case. Calla was forced into captivity and kept in a shipping container on the property. A shipping container. Hidden away, isolated, locked down, cut off from the world. For weeks, she lived in fear, unsure if anyone would ever find her. This was not just confinement, this was psychological torture. When a person is trapped like that, survival becomes a series of tiny decisions. How do you stay calm? How do you read the room? How do you keep someone dangerous from getting more angry than they already are? Survivors often talk about this kind of situation as a kind of constant mental math. What will keep me alive right now? What do I say? What do I not say? What face do I make? What mood do I need to manage? Calla had to do all of that while trapped, frightened, and waiting for a chance, any chance that things might change. That kind of survival is not passive, it is active. It is exhausting, and it is brave. On the 3rd of November 2016, investigators searching the property heard banging from inside the shipping container. Imagine that for a second. For weeks, someone had been hidden there. And then, finally, there was a sound. A sound that said, "I'm here, I'm still here, please find me." Police opened the container and found Calla Brown alive. That moment mattered in a way that is hard to fully describe. This was not just a rescue, it was proof of life after horror. Calla's discovery also confirmed that the investigation was far bigger than a single disappearance. Once she was safely out, authorities began learning more about Todd Kohlhepp and the crimes tied to him. The fact that Calla survived became the thread that helped pull the whole case apart. On the 3rd of November 2016, investigators searching the property heard banging from inside the shipping container. Imagine that for a second. For weeks, someone had been hidden there. And then, finally, there was a sound. A sound that said, "I'm here, I'm still here, please find me." Police opened the container and found Calla Brown alive. That moment mattered in a way that is hard to fully describe. This was not just a rescue, it was proof of life after horror. Calla's discovery also confirmed that the investigation was far bigger than a single disappearance. Once she was safely out, authorities began learning more about Todd Kohlhepp and the crimes tied to him. The fact that Calla survived became the thread that helped pull the whole case apart. Calla Brown's captivity lasted for roughly 2 months. During that time, she endured fear, isolation, and violence, and yet she survived long enough for investigators to hear her. That is the part I want to slow down on, because true crime often rushes past the hardest part, the survivor's actual experience. It is easy for people to focus on the dramatic rescue, the arrest, the headlines, the shocking criminal details. But Kala was the one living inside that container. She was the one waking up and going to sleep in captivity. She was the one trying to remain aware, stay alive, and wait for a chance. When people talk about survival, they often make it sound cinematic. In reality, survival is usually repetitive, terrifying, and deeply lonely. It is hoping someone will notice. It is staying alive 1 hour at a time. It is trying not to give your fear complete control. Kala did that, and she lived. After Kala's rescue, Todd Kohlhepp was revealed as a much more dangerous man than many people had realized. Investigators connected him to additional murders, and the case grew into one of the most disturbing criminal stories in South Carolina. But even with all that attention on him, I want to keep the focus where it belongs, on Kala, on her survival, on the fact that she came out of that experience alive. The aftermath of a case like this is never simple. Survivors don't just walk out of captivity and instantly feel okay. They have to live with the memories, the physical trauma, the fear, the media attention, and the long road of healing that follows. That healing can take years, and it is never linear. Some days are better than others. Some days are triggered by a sound, a smell, a locked door, or a headline. But survival is still survival, even when the healing is messy.